Hi, you guys. I feel prompted to bring you a word today that has to do, of all things, with an alarm clock going off repeatedly at midnight that no one has set. In our household, I have my phone by my bed, and that is the normal way I wake up if I need to. My husband has an alarm on his side. We'll use that for backup. Alarm for an early flight if we have to catch one, or he'll set his sometimes, but I virtually never touch the regular electric clock on my side of the bed, except for just to check the time if I'm awake at some point in the night. So the first time it happened, I waited for my husband to realize that his alarm had accidentally gone off and expected him to turn it off. Well, eventually he wakes up enough, he's fumbling around. He goes, "You know what? I think it's your clock." I'm like, "No way, I don't even use my alarm." But it was mine. So I turned it off, and this happened, several other times in the ensuing weeks, until finally last night, I'm going to say it was the fourth time in 4 weeks, my alarm goes off at midnight, wakes me up from a dead sleep, and I'm irritated. I'm grumbling under my breath. I don't understand what this dumb clock is going off for. And as I'm about to drift off to sleep again, I felt like the Lord reminded me that I have bringing the word from Matthew 25 since last fall about the wise and foolish virgins, and how it was the wise virgins who were awake and ready to go into the wedding when the midnight cry came out. And at midnight a cry was heard, "Behold, the bridegroom is coming, go out to meet him." Now, if you haven't read our last articles, November especially, you can go to our webpage at www.starfireministries.org and read that. I feel like the Lord has shown me, and I've mentioned it in ensuing articles, I felt like he showed me that being ready for the wedding in today's context, because remember, the door was shut, so those that were ready got to move forward. Now, I believe in today's context, that is the biggest move of God we've ever yet seen, the one which is coming. Now, on my own, I wouldn't have received that as enough confirmation that this passage pertains to this crazy wave that my alarm has been going off at midnight. But after I was back asleep, so finally I'm awake, I'm irritated, I'm drifting to sleep, and I feel like it has something to do with this chapter, but it wasn't until it was confirmed for me. For the next hour and a half, I did nothing but dream about this passage, this chapter, and that it had to do with being ready for the wedding. Now, you want to understand something. In Luke chapter 12:56, Jesus had talked to the people there, and he was calling them hypocrites. He was like, not really being very nice and kind, gentle Jesus, right? He's like, you know how to read the signs of the sky, the clouds, the whatever, the wind patterns, and it's like you can predict the weather, but you can't tell what time it is. Being spiritually minded, that is. So we are not to be that. We are to discern the time, right? And what we want to remember is that many prophets are saying that 2018, and I believe it myself too, is a critical year. It's a year to press in. It's a year to be sure you're positioned for your destiny and for the move of God that's coming, because you don't want to miss anything this year, or perhaps the Lord will not let you pick it up in the same way. Now, that's a pretty, what would you say, a dire word, but you want to understand, if this passage is the direction that he is giving us for this day and hour, there was something about being ready. Verse 10 says, "While the foolish virgins went to buy the oil, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding, and the door was shut." So you want to remember there's some element in the spiritual mix. If I said this by myself, it wouldn't be enough, but there are other prophetic individuals saying this. So how can you position yourself? Well, in that first article in November, you'll find that I talk about a number of keys of strategy I felt the Lord gave me, but you also want to be in prayer. You want to be fasting. You want to be listening to the Lord yourself, but also be positioned around those who are hearing the Lord for this hour, prophetic voices that you can trust, because we do not want to miss the alarm that goes off. It's midnight. It's midnight. I truly believe the word of the Lord is that the midnight hour is here. The alarm is going off. You want to be awake and ready, prepared to not miss anything. It's going to be amazing, you guys. It's going to be a ride. So thanks for staying with me, following along. And if you haven't had a chance to read those articles, don't put it off. Go do it. Love you guys. Bless you. Thanks for watching. Bye.